since I had to take this thing apart again because the last tech that worked on it couldn't bother tightening everything up properly, I'd show you how the suspension works. So normally when the wheel's on here, the rear motor is up about like this, but as you hit bumps, this lower control arm moves back and forth, and it pivots off the front here with this long connecting arm that goes underneath and connects to the rear wheel suspension. And basically everything rides through this rear spring here. So now you can see why there's like so many bushings and moving parts, and why this thing is so freaking heavy. There's just so much metal involved on everything on here. And you can adjust your pivot point here in the front. And this is why this chair's back wheels will never come off the ground, no matter how fast you stop on any hill. You adjust this to change your pivot point, and it changes the geometry of the suspension. And then you can also adjust how firm the ride is with this spring here. But yeah, I mean, this is all crazy strong steel. I'm still surprised this didn't bend. But yeah, it connects down here up to the frame and then goes underneath the motor all the way back, and then connects to this whole rear assembly, which also connects into the back frame. And then you have these trailing arms here that move up and down depending on what kind of bumps you're hitting. But yeah, interesting stuff. And right now I've got it sitting up on some blocks so you can see how much space there is here. As soon as I pull that block out, you'll see the whole suspension will compress like 3 inches. And there we go, now it's sitting on its own weight, and basically this arm down here straightens out. So instead of having the motor pivoting around the front, you're actually pushing the suspension in a backwards direction every time you hit a bump. So unlike a lot of the other chairs where the front motor is just sitting on a pivot and rotates and doesn't really have suspension, this one actually has sort of a rearward movement.